What is going on, everybody? I hope you're all having a fantastic week. This is Dr. Kaylee. You're just hearing my voice. There is going to be some information up on the screen. I wanted to try something new with our videos, so you weren't just looking at me, but you actually got to see some content roll out and get some information. As I'm sure that you have already heard, we have our inflammation workshop coming up on August 15th. It's going to be at 5:45 at the Baker Community Center in downtown St. Charles. If you haven't already signed up, please take the time this week and get signed up. We've already got over 50 people signed up to come to this event, and the seats are filling up, and we are excited. We can fit a lot of people in that room, but we would love to see as many of you come to that as possible. So it's August 15th. It's a Tuesday night at 5:45 p.m. at the Baker Community Center. We're going to be going into the deep levels of what inflammation is. Is it the good guy or is it the bad guy? So often I have taught over the years, if you've been to my if you've been to my nutrition workshop, you have heard me say that inflammation is the root cause of all disease. I still believe that. I still believe that it is tied to everything, but I don't believe that inflammation is the cause anymore from what I've been learning. I do believe that our lifestyle does actually create inflammation in our body, and we have to start figuring out the precursors to inflammation. So what actually is causing the inflammation? We have a saying here in Max Living and Judge Family Chiropractic that the cause is the cure. So if we can figure out what the cause of inflammation is, we can actually reverse inflammation and begin to reverse other diseases. And so we're going to be going through a whole lot of things, but today I wanted to be going over one specific thing for you, and that's going to be sugar. And I know that sugar is the most addictive substance that we have in our food sources today. It's the thing that people can't get rid of. It's the thing that people have the hardest time stopping using. And it is also the thing that when I see people go through a sugar detox, it is horrific. But also in the same breath, it is the number one thing that I see when we can get the chains unlocked from sugar. I see people set free. I see people able to start healing. I see people start able to looking at food differently because they're not addicted to sugar anymore. You might be thinking, well, I don't eat sugar. That might be the case. You don't have a spoonful of sugar, or you think you've cut some of this stuff out. But I want to start opening up your mind to what you might be experiencing with sugar in your diet, because there are a lot of different names for sugar. As you can see this list here, I wanted to give you the list put up on this screen, because the reality is that we may think that we actually don't have sugar in our diets, but the sad truth is that there's so many different names for sugar. Even the healthy types of sugar can be creating inflammation in your body. So that's why things like honey are on here. I'm a big fan of having honey in raw forms from local sources, especially when we're dealing with allergies and sinus issues and things in the spring and even in the fall. I do put honey in my tea, but I do know that if I put too much honey in my tea, or if I drink or eat too much honey, then it's actually going to create inflammation. I can feel it in my fingers. I can feel it in my joints. And so I wanted to give you a chance to see this, go through this and take a mental picture. If you have your phone, this will be the one thing that I'm going to allow you to use your phone for, is to take an actual picture of this screen. Don't worry, it will come back up. So if you don't have your phone, you can bring it in next time. We'll have this going all week long so that you can see the different names for sugar. Some of the big things I want to kind of point out for you is high fructose corn syrup. We know that there is at least about 65 pounds of high fructose corn syrup that is consumed by Americans every single year. 65 pounds. And that's probably a low ball number, because there are more and more processed foods that are being used, that are using high fructose corn syrup in there. So I want you to become aware of this. So if you go home today, check in your pantry for your processed foods and check to see if you have high fructose corn syrup in there. Another one that I want to bring to your attention is brown rice syrup. This is actually going to increase your chances of developing inflammation over time. It's still a sugar. Another thing is agave nectar slash syrup. This it has had gotten a good rap and also a bad rap. It depends on who you talk to. But what we've come up with is that this is like putting high fructose corn syrup into your food. It doesn't mean that it's a bad thing, but what happens is it directly goes into your bloodstream and starts to increase your insulin receptors, makes you insulin resistance, increases your glucose. All kinds of things start to happen, things we want to stay away from. Maple syrup is another one that is going to be coming in a natural form, but will be hurtful over time. These other things that are in here, dextrin, maltodextrin, even raw sugar, sugar in the raw, the brown packets that we see at different places. Sugar is sugar is sugar. We see even beet sugar and sucrose and maltose and lactose and fructose and galactose and all these different names for sugar. Coconut sugar would be another one that people would use for a sugar substitute. It's still going to affect your inflammation markers. And so take a look at this and start looking over it and see what it is. I'm going to go into more detail on August 15th at our workshop at 5:45 at the Baker Community Center. Now, you might be sitting there and thinking, well, what about artificial sweeteners? So the blue and the pink and the yellow packets, I highly recommend making this stay out of your diet for as long as possible. This should be a bare minimum standard engagement type of a thing. This is something that you will not eat anything that has artificial sweeteners in it. So that's going to be things like sucralose. It is going to be things like the yellow packets and the pink packets and the even sometimes the stevia packets, the green packets, because what they're doing is they're putting in dextrose and maltodextrose and all these things inside of it to get you a little bit addicted to it and make sure that you stay on track with eating these things. So these are actually like neurotoxins. So every single time that you're eating an artificial sweetener, it is like a bomb going off in your nervous system. So you might think that drinking that Diet Coke is going to actually help you lose weight, but the sad reality is it's putting toxins into your body. It's creating inflammation. It's putting toxins into the fat cells, which is why you're having a hard time losing weight. And so it's not going to be until you start getting rid of these artificial sweeteners, getting rid of these toxins that are making a home in your fat cells, that you're going to actually be able to seamlessly lose weight. And so I'm going to dive in even further of what to look for when it comes to artificial sweeteners and what are some things that you can do to add to your diet or subtract from your diet to make it a seamless process of getting sugar out of your diet, decreasing inflammation, and allowing your body to heal and function the way that God always intended it to. So again, August 15th, 5:45 p.m. At Baker Community Center. This is a place where I would love to meet your family and your friends. You can bring guests. There is no cost for anybody. Again, we have over 50 people already signed up for this, about 10 different guests that are already coming. And so we just want to make this a party in August, the summer, and teach you about inflammation and how to stop the process of creating inflammation and also decrease inflammation if you already do have it. So I can't wait to see you there. Again, August 15th, 5:45 p.m., Baker Community Center. Step up to the front desk and let the girls know that you want to sign up for that event, or let one of the doctors know and we will get you signed up for that. I can't wait to see you there.